When survivors of domestic violence in Orange County seek help, they're often frustrated, intimidated, and confused by a fractured system. They may have to travel to multiple locations and tell their traumatic story of abuse over and over again. To demonstrate what survivors go through in the first days after reporting their abuse, we're going to follow a recent Harbor House client, Alyssa. When we mapped her experience, this is what we saw. The first day, Alyssa spent several hours at the Harbor House office located in the Orange County Courthouse. She then walked to a different floor in the courthouse and waited to file an injunction against her abuser. When she was done at the courthouse, the police department in the town where Alyssa lived escorted her to her apartment to pick up some of her belongings. She then traveled to another police station where a Harbor House staff member picked her up and brought her to our emergency shelter. After completing paperwork and getting settled in, Alyssa was in so much pain and having trouble breathing that she went to the hospital. She had chest injuries from the amount of force used during the abuse, as well as facial injuries and neck injuries caused by strangulation. After receiving treatment, she went back to the emergency shelter for the night. Alyssa began the second day back at the courthouse to check in on the injunction results. Fortunately, the injunction had been granted. She then went to her apartment leasing office to begin the process of breaking the lease. Next, she headed over to the police station to report her car as stolen since her abuser would not return it to her. Alyssa then had to go to the tag office for a copy of her car title. She also requested a new tag because she feared being spotted by her abuser and his friends. In the middle of all this, Alyssa uploaded pictures of her injuries through a link law enforcement had provided her. She was also notified that her abuser had been arrested and that his bond hearing would be the next morning. At the end of the day, Alyssa returned to the shelter. Alyssa spent the third day at the jail for her abuser's bond hearing. Despite her fear and pain, Alyssa was brave and spoke to the judge. Bond was revoked, and her abuser was not released. The rest of Alyssa's day was spent on the phone back and forth between the car dealership and the police, trying to sort out the issue with her car. In the week that followed, she visited the state attorney's office and let them know she wanted to pursue charges. She also stopped by a police station for them to check her car for tracking devices. Alyssa went back to her apartment to pack up, patch holes in the wall caused by her abuser, and turn in her keys. At Harbor House's emergency shelter, she met with her case manager, economic empowerment coordinator, and mental health therapist, and spent more time downtown with our court advocates and injunction for protection attorney. Throughout this week, Alyssa also made numerous phone calls and sent many emails. Alyssa traveled to at least 14 different locations, visiting some multiple times, and completed over 150 pages of paperwork, all while living in pain and fear. And we wonder why some survivors give up in the middle of this process. When a community has a family justice center, victims no longer need to tell their story multiple times. Legal papers can be filed right away, and cases are completed more quickly, with the ultimate result that survivors can be safer, sooner. More time can be spent healing instead. With your help, we can change the future for survivors in Orange County.